Hi, my name is Mahogany Gilchrist. I work for the government. Can't tell you what I do. Have to kill ya. I've been doing that job for 16 years, and I've organized the largest blood drive in the nation. It's going on its 14th year now. Because of that, I've been to the White House on 2 separate occasions to speak about the importance of blood donations. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and the first time I was called a nigger, I will never forget in my entire life. And from here on out, I won't say that word again because it's that hurtful and it's that ugly. And I'll refer to it as the N-word from here on out.
Mr. Muhammad teaches us that Negro is a term that was applied to us during slavery by the slave master. Right today, it's a term that is used only to point out the descendant of slaves.
So the first time I was called that word, I was only 9 years old. I remember it as clear as day. We were living in Petaluma at the time, which is a small town outside of San Francisco. We were at the local community pool, and we had just gotten out of the pool, my family and I, after having a fun day of swimming. We were on our way into the locker room to change. My family went ahead of me. For some reason, I stayed behind for something. And as I looked up, there was a little boy in front of me. I was only 9 at the time, but this little boy was probably maybe 6 or 7. And he called me that word, looked me up and down and called me that word with such contempt in his eyes that he meant it. And he knew exactly what he was saying. And I was really floored when I heard that, but more so I was ashamed of myself and who I was and the color of my skin. And it really affected me, still affects me to this day, just the hate behind it and behind that word and the power that that little boy had over me and that grip that that word had on me for years to come. I will never forget that.
Hi, my name is Chris Jones. Everyone calls me CJ. I'm a very proud Southside of Chicago native. Attended college at Williams College, a small school in Massachusetts, where I played basketball among some other things. Graduated in 1994 and immediately went into the workforce as an educator. Graduate school at Columbia University. Wound up moving to the high school side in the college counseling 17 years ago, and the last 7 of those have been at Harvard-Westlake School in Studio City, California. The first time, oh gosh, it's hard. It really is hard to say. I'll never forget I'm here to talk about the first time I was called a nigger. And it is, without a doubt, a time that I will never forget. I think sometimes when I wonder about how powerful it is, I think about what it feels like in this moment to try to say it. And it's really difficult to do even though I'm just talking to a camera. I was 5 years old, which seems really young, but Chicago, for those that don't know, is historically one of the most racist cities around. I'm assuming it still is, even though I haven't lived there for a long time. During the summers, I grew up in the hood in Chicago, and during the summers, my mom would send me out to one of my aunt's homes. I had an aunt who lived in one of the northern suburbs. I had an aunt who lived in the southern suburbs. This particular summer, I was with the aunt who lived in the southern suburbs and was outside playing baseball in the backyard, wiffle ball in the backyard. Myself, my cousin, who's 3 or 4 years older than I am, and then the neighbor's 2 children. One was a boy who was about my age. The other was another boy, his brother, who was about the age of my cousin. As we were playing, I did something, not sure exactly what it was, but I hit the ball pretty well, ran all the way around the bases and made it home. And the younger brother, and those 2 boys are white, the younger brother, who was my age, I don't remember exactly how he said it, but I know that in the midst of his talking at me with some venom, used the word nigger with me. And I had a very instant response to it. I dropped the bat, walked right over to him and punched him in the face. And as soon as that happened, he falls down, I get on him, I'm punching him some more. My cousin's getting me off. His brother, the kid's brother, is trying to get him, and they're separating us. As that's happened, the adults kind of run outside. My aunt sees this and runs immediately. She just grabs me like, Chris, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? She pulls me into the garage and she's trying to talk to me like, why did you just do that? And I said, you know what? My mom always said if anybody ever called me a nigger, I needed to hit them. So I was following instructions and being a good little boy. Man, that's hard to say.
My name is Janine Jones. I am a wife, mother, educator, lawyer, and a Buckeye. The first time that I was called nigger was in 7th grade at Perry Middle School in Worthington, Ohio. I was in the lunchroom going to join some of my friends in line to get food that day. And I was one of 2 or 3 African-American students at the middle school. And so my girlfriends were in line and I had gone off to do something. And so I came into the lunchroom, joined them in line, and a white boy who was behind my friends in line screamed at me in front of everyone in the lunchroom and said, "You better not be cutting in front of the line, nigger." I was mortified. I was embarrassed. I started crying immediately, and I left the lunchroom with really nowhere to turn. And so I happened to come upon my 7th grade English teacher, Lynn Phillips, who I consider to be a saint now, because she took me into her room, gave me a hug, let me cry, and didn't try to apologize for this young boy's actions. She didn't try to make me feel bad for feeling badly. And that was the first time I was called nigger.